What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to Talk with Mets and Rob. How is everybody doing? Before I get started talking about Jorge Soler, the sign with the Mets, is he the best option for DH for the New York Mets? Don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button if you're enjoying my content. Want to see more? Want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live? You guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. All right, guys, we know the Mets need a DH. We heard from a couple of reports that the Mets wouldn't have a problem going in-house with DH with like a Vientos DJ Stewart platoon. And I'm one that don't like platoons at DH. I don't think it works well enough because when a player is hot and then there's a pitcher on the mound that they can't hit, right-handed or left-handed, then you got to put the other guy in who's coming off the bench cold. I like a solid DH, a DH that can go out there and play the amount of games that you want as like the everyday DH. And that's what I think is more important. Are the Mets going to go out there? They were linked to Martinez. They were linked to Justin Turner. They've been linked to Jorge Soler. And what's funny is when the Mets aren't really linked to a player is usually when you think they're probably more interested because the Mets don't leak anything. And it seems like just because Justin Turner is the perfect fit, just in case JD Martinez is the next one available, next one that could be the perfect fit as well, will end up being Jorge Soler. And I think the biggest reason why reporters are not putting Soler at the top of the list for the New York Mets is the fact we all believe that the reason why Jorge Soler opted out was to get more money and a similar 3-year deal. And I think it's hard for him now to get that 3-year deal because I think if he would have got an offer of a 3-year deal, he would have signed with a team by now. So I think a 2-year deal is very much more likely for Jorge Soler to get. And I think that's where the Mets might come in this situation. So Jorge Soler is a solid hitter. That's basically it. Now, if you're only talking DH here and you're not talking no versatility, then you got the guy. Jorge Soler is the guy that can give you a lot of home runs, not terrible average. RBIs could be there depending on his home run total, his run production, putting bat on the ball. And I do think he is a guy that can be very dangerous behind Pete Alonso and can only help Pete Alonso. But once again, he is not a good defensive outfielder. He's going to be 32 years old going into the 2024 season. Again, that's not too much of an issue. He's right around the age where he's prime, so I'm not really worried about the age. But what does concern me is that if he is looking for a 3-year deal, the Mets are out. That's just a fact. The Mets aren't giving a 3-year deal to just a guy who's going to be a DH. And again, he is just a DH. He is not a good defensive outfielder, even though you can make him play the outfield every now and then, but it won't be because of defensive purposes because he is not very good defense guy. And especially with the Hader signing, outfield is kind of exactly what it is with the Nimmo, Marte, Tyrone Taylor, Bader outfield. I think the Mets like that defensive outfield. So I don't think Soler would play the outfield at all. He would be probably 99% DH. And I know a lot of Mets fans are fine with that. It's got to be on the 2-year deal. I think this is the only way the New York Mets sign Jorge Soler. I don't think money, AAV, is an issue. I think it's just the years that the Mets are worried about. So should Jorge Soler be a New York Met? Can't really argue no, right? I think any three, Turner, Martinez, Soler, I think anyone help this team. Everyone has their particular niche that you like. And I've been on record saying that Justin Turner is the best fit, considering the fact that he can play third base and first base, can be versatile, and you just don't need him as just a bat. If he doesn't hit, he still is useful. Martinez and Soler are not useful if they don't hit. And I'll explain why, specifically with Jorge Soler, where I think the Mets are a little bit worried bringing him in because it's not the bat that they're worried about. It's the other things. And that's what I had a problem with JD Martinez, is that if these guys don't hit, they are basically Vogelback 2.0 because they can't really play the field. Martinez really can't play the field. Jorge Soler can, but are you really going to take away your defense in the outfield for a bat in the lineup? I don't know if the philosophy with David Stearns and the New York Mets now do want a player that is gonna hurt them defensively just because he's a good bat. I think we look too much into just the bat. Yet last year the Mets were not a good defensive team, and I think the defensive run saved is huge. And David Stearns has talked about that. Why Soler is probably not at the top of the list is because of the versatility factor that he's not a good defender. At the very least, he would be an excellent bat. But are the Mets just looking for a bat, or are they looking for more than just a bat, where a guy that if he doesn't hit, he's going to be sitting on the bench a lot. And that's going to be a problem because you're taking up a roster spot. He's basically a Vogelback 2.0. Again, he's not Vogelback 2.0. He's not Vogelback at all. None of these three guys are Vogelback. But the scary part is if these guys don't hit in Martinez and Soler, got a problem with those guys because they're taking up a roster spot. And if you're not doing the one thing you're paying them for, they're not very good fielders. And they don't play the field much at all. That's the problem that I do have. He played the outfield a lot with the Marlins because, well, it's the Marlins. So that's why I think Justin Turner is probably the best fit. But when you don't hear nothing in regard to a player linked to the Mets through the reporters, it just seems like they're probably more after him than we actually think, because that's the way the Mets have run things. Guys who they're really not linked to, they've been signing. They've done it for the last couple of years now, and I wouldn't be shocked if you see Soler in a New York Mets uniform. So what is the important thing here? We want to look at his stats. So let's look at it right here. Played 137 games last year, which was the most since 2021. Again, he's had a lot of games where he had injuries the last 3 seasons with Kansas City, Atlanta, and Miami. And that is worrisome in 2022. But this year, 137 games, he was healthy, 36 home runs, 75 RBIs. And I want to put keys on the blue and the green squares with the 36 home runs and 75 RBIs. Now, you can look at that and say, well, the Marlins really didn't get a lot of guys on base for him to get those big RBIs. That's like the big thing that you look at, because if you hit 36 home runs, you should be closer to 100 RBIs than 90 RBIs or 85 RBIs, right? It's a little weird that he hit that many home runs, but only has 75 RBIs. Now, you can put that where, again, guys didn't get on base for him. But you can also look at the fact that when there was runners on, did he drive them in? I always talk about run production other than the home run ball, because you hit home runs, great, that's beautiful. But when there's guys on base and you don't hit a home run, what do you do with that ball when you got to hit it? Are you going to hit it in the gap, or are you going to strike out? Now, the good thing about Soler, and what I think some people probably did not notice, is that he had a really good season average-wise, 250. For a power hitter, that's pretty good. Again, he has a 243 career average, and I like the average because as a power hitter, 250, 260 is where you want to see a power hitter, and he had an 853 OPS. So it's a possibility that, again, I didn't watch 150 Marlins games to tell you that there was a lot of people on base for him, and when he hit those home runs, there wasn't people on base, and that's more on the team than Soler. But what alarms me a little bit, that when there was guys on base, did he drive those runs in if it wasn't a home run? And according to the stat, home runs to RBIs, not much at all of a difference. So that tells me that a lot of those RBIs came on the home runs and not on anywhere else, where, you know, runners in scoring position. Did he hit balls in the gap? Did he hit doubles? Did he hit singles? And again, he had 24 doubles, which is pretty good in 580 at-bats. 504 at-bats, which is fine. I just worried about the fact that, and it's the same thing goes for JD Martinez. When these guys don't hit home runs, the run production is not there for them. And that worries me. With Justin Turner doesn't rely on home runs to drive in runs. You look, he had 23 home runs last year, 24 home runs last year, and he had 96 RBIs. That tells you that he was productive with runners in scoring position, with runners on base, while not hitting a home run. Gap-to-gap hitter. He's a line drive hitter, Justin Turner. And when he connects on one, he'll hit a home run. He doesn't rely on a home run to drive in the runs. Soler and Martinez do. And that's what worries me a little bit. But again, it's very hard to argue for any of these guys. If the Mets sign any of these guys, nobody should complain. And I think that's where the Mets are right now, and why I think the Mets are going to sign one of these 3 guys. But Jorge Soler, I think, is the best option for a hitter. Other than that, I don't know. But once again, guys, here's the question. Is Jorge Soler the best DH option for the New York Mets? I'm going to ask you guys this. What do you think? Yes or no? Would you go elsewhere, Martinez or Turner? Or would you go in-house with Vientos, Stewart? That is the question that David Stearns is reeling right now. And that is a question that Met fans are asking right now. What are they going to do at the DH position? Because we need to know, and there needs to be protection. Regardless of who it is, you need to have protection. Do they think that Francisco Alvarez is the protection for Pete Alonso in the 5th hole? And DH is kind of, there. And yeah, we'll get a good bat, but we want that DH spot to be versatile, where you can put guys in the DH spot every other day. You see a new guy every day, giving guys days off. That could be an option as well. But is Jorge Soler the best option? No. Is he a solid option? Absolutely. Once again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you enjoy my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live, you guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. Is Jorge Soler the best DH option for the Mets? Let me know in the comments, guys. Is that a yes or a no? I want to thank you guys for watching. And as always, Met fans, let's go Mets.